Now that the Gachiakuta information broker arc has finished, it's finally time for me to cover it, right? And I am excited and I am happy because thus far, this has been one of my favorite arcs in Gachiakuta, honestly. And in today's video, I will have a three-part discussion of all the things that took place during this arc and my take on it. Unscripted, unfiltered, just my raw takes on this overall arc. And in the comments down below, guys, you will share with me takeaways from this arc that you picked up on yourself, by yourself, right? And we'll just discuss because honestly, this is one of the greatest arcs in Gachiakuta. So beforehand, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like on today's video, and please comment down below what you feel about Gachiakuta and the arc that we're currently in and about to approach, right? So first and foremost, this arc started off with Kuro's introduction, and overall his appearance was something that triggered me, meaning his broad build and the fact that he didn't have his gloves filled, and overall just his whole demeanor and his very comedic character gave off the idea of him not being who we think he is, right? It felt deceptive from his first appearance, and so when we met him, he commenced his game of tag. His game of tag was very suspicious. It came out of nowhere, and I was like, I get it. You're the information broker, so to acquire your info, we have to do something to your liking. So I guess the game of tag something fits with your comedic character. So yeah, the game of tag approach, and I liked it. It was pretty fun. We met different trash beasts, that being the trash beast hounds, and yeah, from there on out, we got some development from Rudo. We then noticed that he got the Gremlin's brush, the brush gifted to him, and through that he was able to stall these trash beasts when they were running away from them during the game of tag, right? He created these spikes in the road made from the drippings from the brush, and I thought that moment was really sick. It was really awesome, and it really goes to show the development that Rudo has gone through thus far using instruments. And yeah, overall that was pretty neat, the whole chase during the game of tags until the Raiders appearance. The Raiders reappeared, right? And when they reappeared, before then we got a little introduction with um a new member beforehand, and we knew that they were going to come along at some point during this arc. So during that, they pulled up on the highway during this chase, during the game of tag, and they reappeared, and it was a nice little brief moment where they met Fu, who's an ex-raider, of course. They met Fu on that little scuffle on the highway, and it was a very, I don't know, very tense emotions going on there with them and his betrayal. And overall, I think that moment was kind of funny. Honestly, it was one of the highlights of the beginning of this arc, and yeah, that was pretty cool. Not only that, when the new member was there, Momoa, we learned that her power is to steal memories, and that was shocking revealed, and we all know by the looks of it the reason why Zodel brought her along, to of course attempt to steal the information broker's memory, right? So yeah, from there on out, Jabber is there. He interacts with Ryo for a split second during this arc. We're talking about his previous encounter with her in the Trash Beast arc where they were trying to fly to despair. Yeah, but then they had a little brief interaction there talking about how he shot her and he would like to be shot again. So that little interaction there between Jabber and Ryo was very insightful. It gave a little brief suspicious moment for the cleaners because they were wondering who the hell they're talking about. It cannot be Ryo because Ryo of course doesn't use a gun, but that's what the cleaners think, right? Engine on the other hand knows otherwise because he has a history with Ryu, so that's a little tidbit right there. Anyways, Zodel's intellect, his intellect throughout this whole arc is something pretty cunning, but also pretty impressive, right? He quickly picks up on situations and understands things on a deeper level. He knows that there is motive behind certain actions and quickly wonders that Kuro's true intentions is to somehow lure them into a trap, and through that Kuro understands that the person he's up against right now, Zodel, is someone that is very conniving, he's very intellectual, right? And that was a little good moment for Zodal right there in the beginning of the arc. Yeah, from there on out, we continue the chase throughout, and we are in a tunnel. And during this tunnel, at some point along the way, the cleaners need great assistance. And from there, Fu joins the scuffle, right? And we're wondering what is Fu gonna do? Because from here on out, it was kind of introduced to he was a very weak character that feared fighting. He didn't like fighting entirely until it was revealed that he has a vital instrument that's a doll that speaks to him in his mind of sorts, like in Euro from Chainsaw Man. He has this doll that he interacts with, and apparently this doll can switch sides with him, and this doll will go by the name of He. He now is like a split persona of him that acts more savage, that acts more brutal, and with that he was able to join the scuffle and go up against Jabber. And during this fight with Jabber, Jabber got one-hitted so bad it was actually insane. 2 hits in and Jabber was out for the count. So it really goes to show how strong this vital instrument of Fu is, that being the cursed doll, and it's possibly one of the strongest Jinkies thus far. It's very new. I've never seen a Jinky that alters somebody's body that much, aside from the other Jinky user. I don't remember her name. I don't know, the kid that turns into a big dinosaur. Yeah, that kid. That's the only Jinky thus far I've seen that can alter someone's body. Aside from that, Fu has one that alters his body to give him enormous strength, and I'd like to see much more from that. And I'm really glad he joins the cleaners after a while. Yeah, from there on out, they fight. What interrupts their fight though is Shoni. Shoni is sent by Zodil to intercept the cleaners from coming any further to Kuro, and during that he uses his teleportation powers with his tunnels to open up a tunnel to basically send all these beasts back at the cleaners, right? And during that they're shocked. They don't know what to do. They're cornered, and Shoni now is there blocking their exit. From there, our boy Rudo arrives. Because apparently he was swept away in a horde of beasts, but now he reappears through the tunnel, and we get a little genius moment from him here, because he still has Remlin's brush. And with Remlin's brush, what Rudo does is basically, like you read the chapter, he basically brainstormed an ability in a split couple of seconds to have the cleaners get launched up into the sky, out of the cave, out of the tunnel. And right there and out, it really goes to show how young Rudo is, but so capable with powers. He is actually one of the greatest when it comes to brainstorming abilities, brainstorming ideas when it comes to using abilities. And yeah, that's a little key takeaway from Rudo's genius right there. So on to part 2 now, guys. We enter a new territory, a new no man's land, to explore upon the world building of Gachiakuta. This no man's land by the name of Tori. Tori is like this place that, you know, beasts are around that reacts to the smallest sounds. So it's, I don't know if we ever re-explore this place, but perhaps, right? So Tori is there, and we found that that's where the information broker is hiding, right? He went there. That was the end goal for him to reach the forest. So now they're there. We are introduced back to Zodil. We see him there seated in the tree, and his overall motive right now is to have the cleaners basically approach Kuro and get trapped, right? Because in this forest there is a beast, the king of the beast apparently, that is there defending something. Kuro's noticed that's why he's there, and he's seated waiting on something. The cleaners arrive. Zodil notices something. He awakens the beast and trying to make the beast get the cleaners' attention, right? That really goes how cunning Zodil is. He won't do the dirty work, rather he'll make somebody else be bait and do so. He does it with his own allies, and he's doing it with the cleaners. So he does so. The king of the no man's land rampages, attacks the cleaners, makes them suffer casualties, that being Ryo almost literally dying because, you know, the beast grabbed her and was ragdolling her all over the place. And with that, she got injured pretty badly. Through that, Rudo is upset. He resolves to protect his allies. He has resolved, and he overgoes how much he has grown as a person to not get his emotions in the way and have his allies get hurt, right? So he's upset, and he's gonna allow the information broker to pay for them suffering casualties. And yeah, through that now, Follow, the supporter that was along with them, gets a little spotlight here. And his spotlight, basically, he comes up with a new idea. So he borrows equipment from Gris, the other supporter, tells him to come out, let's, I don't know, try something. The plan involves them switching clothing. So from there on out, we get Kuro's plan. Kuro's overall plan is to search for something that's in the vicinity, right? Which is a box. The box being something that has something hidden in there. His whole agenda was getting Rudo to open this box, right? And yeah, skipping back to that, we go back to Follow's plan. Follow's plan was overall switching clothes with Rudo so that Rudo and him could corner Kuro in a way to have them catch Kuro, which would allow them to win the game of tag. That would allow them to, get the information that they want out of Kuro. It worked because, Follow was a genius, a side character that came up with this brilliant idea. So it worked, and with the help of Rudo, of course. So they got Kuro. Kuro shared the letter of what was inside the box. Apparently, it was a letter from Rudo's ancestor, Canis Cerebic. We learned that back in Canvas Town that he was related to someone named Canvas Cerebic. So this is indeed his ancestor, Canis Cerebic. Either his father, grandparent, some of the sort. Most likely his father. I think it was confirmed to be his father. Yeah. So his father now left this letter. The letter was saying that he had to bury the humans. That's the only way he could do them. So he is the only one supposed to be able to break this chain of sorts. And he tells his children, keyword on children, so it seems as though Rudo is not his only child or his only ancestor. He tells them to live happy lives and that he alone shall break this chain. So Kuro, Rudo obviously is concerned now and surprised that he has an ancestor down on the ground, and we want to learn more about that. And hopefully in the coming arcs we will, which we will of course, but I'm really excited to see exactly what it's about and who is he, and if Rudo does actually have more siblings, and who just are they, right? And have we already met them, or at least met one of them, right? So that's pretty insightful there with the letter and all that sort. Yeah, using the box though, I forgot to mention that before he got the box open, he had to use the box to put thoughts in it and capture the king of the forest in Twilight. So that was a pretty dope moment from Rudo right there. It was pretty insane. It's like a third indication of how cool Rudo is this arc, so that's pretty cool. Part 3 now, the Watchmen series got a little lower drop here, where it was introduced that Canis Cerebic was the man who wore all of these Watchmen series simultaneously. And it really goes to show how we learned that Kuro is someone that has been here for centuries. We learned that through his touch from Memory Wipe, from Momoa's Memory Swipe, right? Because Momoa managed to actually touch him while before they could proceed to share information with the cleaners. So through that, we learned that he's over 100 or so years old, and we started to question his identity to see exactly who the hell is this man, right? From there on out, he actually tells Momoa, the member of the Raiders, that he wanted the Raiders to come here, and he wanted someone like her to actually take these memories from him so that he could acquire some lost memories in his memories. He wanted to acquire some memories to potentially learn something that he had forgotten, right? So that's very insightful. I wonder what these lost memories he's talking about. Maybe it's something that's to do with how the ground came to be, what happened to the spear. I'm really interested to see what that could unfold to be. So we learned that the price she has to pay to collect these memories from Kuro is memory overload. So what happened is her brain fried and froze, and she collapsed. She collapsed, and now apparently she can't be awakened until a month or so. So that's the price she has to pay, memory overload, and that's a fair price. So what happened is Zodel realizes this while he's being intercepted by the cleaners, of course. He realizes this, and with his Jinky Mishra, what he used was to defend himself against the cleaners in the meanwhile. And with this Jinky, what we learned is that it changes form based on the things that he eats, that he consumes, or what is rather stored inside of the coat and he consumes. So because we saw him eat a sandwich, so from there on out, what we took from that is the sense of taste that activates this ability. So what he does is taste something, and he takes the physical properties of that thing to alter the shape of his coat. So with his coat, he basically used it to intercept and defend against cleaners. And while he was gonna retreat with Momo, what he does is basically turns the coat into some wings and he flew off, right? And during his retreat, he told Rudo that when they meet again, he will absolutely beat the living shit out of Rudo. And I just thought that was pretty intimidating. Rudo wasn't intimidated though. He says the next time they meet, there will be problems. So yeah, the Raiders will return, of course. I really like that little dynamic between the Raiders and the Cleaners. It's pretty fun. So yeah, but further ado, South Branch is introduced because Gris called them early on this arc. So the South Branch is introduced. We got a skip back to Rio in the hospital in this infirmary of sorts, and now we're introduced to two new characters, Mildreda, I believe, and Mirage. Two new characters. One of them seems to be the head of this branch, and yeah, they're upset that the Cleaners didn't actually tell them about them coming to the south, but they're upset about that much. And yeah, from there now, Kuro comes to apologize to Rio. That was a little heartwarming moment. It really goes to show that although he's a very businessman, he does actually care, and he's doing this on behalf of Rudo, because the game of tag and all kind of got people hurt, and he needed to apologize. Yeah, Rio accepted his apology and carried on. He told Rio that the Cleaners left the South Branch to go on a mission to find Amo because he gave them information on her whereabouts. Now, on her whereabouts, as you know, the previous arc before this, it was revealed that obviously Tamzi was the culprit that actually kidnapped Amo, right? That was shocking, and we also wanted to know what it's going to lead up to. So here it is again. When they went to go to find Amo, there Tamzi is sticking his nose in, saying that he's filling in for Rio, and he is there. He is intimidated, wondering if the Cleaners do actually know it's actually him, considering that they actually came back from the information Kuro, so they're wondering if perhaps they learned about who took her, which would obviously be him. Turns out he wanted to go in there and get her first. We had a little moment there where Rudo kind of turned down his offer. Things were very tense basically, and yeah, they entered the place. They found Amo chained up, and there Amo was in relief that they're finally rescuing her. And there's a brief moment where she looks up at Tamzi and thanks him for coming to save her. And there now we get to see him give her the boots. This little moment right here though is kind of suspicious. Like, Tamzi out of nowhere comes with the boots with the Cleaners. So why didn't the Cleaners for a brief second? If I were the Cleaners, I'd be like, what is Tamzi doing with the boots? How did he get his hands on this, and why did he think that it's so convenient that he realized that they were going to find Amo and he just brought the boots along? It's kind of sus. I really don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking. But yeah, we get to see that Tamzi brought the boots to her, and it seems as though she doesn't know exactly who he is or something. Maybe she was brainwashed or something. But that will be revealed to us shortly as we get introduced to the Tamzi incident. What has unfolded, what happened, and how he actually got to kidnap her. How he got to kidnap her, it was revealed that his vital instrument is more than just threads that trap people, but rather has the ability to create puppets. So when they left that desert where they left Amo, what he did is left these weaves of thread, these weaves of rope behind, and that which formed a puppet. With that puppet, he used to, manhandle her and took her in custody. Basically, kidnap her until he got the boots and whatsoever. So he was the one that, immobilized her and kidnapped her with that puppet ability. From there on out, we also realize that he's doing this out of an act of love, apparently, and with that, we get to see that he's this actor love is towards Rudo and towards Rudo from the very beginning, because it was now revealed that he was a culprit that actually killed Recto, that being Rudo's foster father, and have Rudo being sent to the ground. All for the sake of opening this shell inside of Rudo to reveal something, right? Some, I don't know, some inner beast, inner demon inside of Rudo. I don't know if he's some kind of Rudo worshiper or something, but he doing this out of an act of love for Rudo. I wouldn't be surprised if he's Rudo's sibling, for crying out loud. But he's doing this for a greater cause apparently. So he killed the Recto, had Rudo sent to the ground, and whatever. And now he's here and he kidnapped Ao to further try to traumatize Rudo to break this shell. So the Tomsy incident was just this diabolical insanity, crazy, and shocking. Because who would have thought it would have been Tianzi from the first place? So yeah, the Tianzi incident was it was crazy to say the least, and I think it's one of the best plot twists in Shonen thus far, and I really want to see what's to come of it, especially after the next arc starts. So back to Kuro, because that's what the arc is about. The information broker. With his information, we got some very insightful news on the lore of Gachiakuta, the Watchmen series, those ancestry, stuff like that. We got a lot from him, and with this last chapter of this arc, we learned that he has information on Rio's mother, for he offered her the option to ask about her mother when she was in the infirmary. She declined and told him to rather tell the cleaners of his true identity. And through that, what he does is ask himself, what exactly is his true identity? He has long forgotten, for he has played many, many roles, and this build up slowly revealed to be that this whole time the information broker was not the information broker. No, let me rephrase that. The information broker is not the man who he appears to be. The information broker is a crow, or rather a shapeshifter, and he takes the form of a crow. And this crow has been shown in the story throughout many times from the very first arcs, and it really goes to show why exactly he beholds so many information, because he can transform into a crow. And from the very beginning of this arc, it was hinted to us that this man, his appearance, his style, his overall mystery was something to be revealed. And here it is now. It was revealed to us by the end of this arc that Kuro is some type of shapeshifter that has long forgotten his role in the world, and his real memories and his overall real form. And with that, he takes the form of a bird and flies off through the window. And that brings the end to this arc. And this arc is really good. Honestly, none of those information from the fights, the interactions and the raiders, information, the info drop that was revealed during this arc, and overall all the hype moments. This arc was really a rough ride, and I loved it. So the information broke arc. Drop down comments down below what you guys feel about it. Tell me your takes, some key takeaways, everything that I discussed here. Whole lot of yapping today. I know I probably missed out a lot of stuff, or maybe I covered too many stuffs. But without further ado, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and subscribe to the video. And yeah, see you guys in another one. Please take care of yourselves. Peace.